it's your time, you want to get pregnant. Here in this video, we are going to cover my top tips in order to maximize your chances of getting pregnant each month. We'll cover what you can do to understand your cycle and make sure that you're maximizing your opportunities, and also what kind of supplements and other things that you might need in order to improve your own fertility. Tip 1, keep a menstrual diary. This is the single most important thing that you can do in order to improve your natural chance of getting pregnant. What you need to do is to understand when you might be ovulating so that you can focus the times when you're maximizing your opportunities. So, what should you include in your menstrual diary? Well, I recommend using an app or something that you can access wherever you are. Flow, Clue are two that I've come across that are great, but it doesn't really matter. You can even use an old-fashioned pen and paper. Keep track of your symptoms. What you want to note down is what day your period comes, how heavy the flow is, how long it lasts for. Once you've inputted those things into your app, usually the app will tell you what day you are likely to ovulate. But either way, you can understand, if you record it for a couple of months, how long your cycle is. Now, an average cycle we say is 28 days, but actually we know that anything from about 25 days up to about 35 days is considered normal. But roughly, if you have an idea of how long your cycle is, you can then work out your ovulation day. Now, the importance of the day of ovulation is that is the day when your body releases an egg, and within 24 hours of that day is when you're going to fall pregnant. So what you want to make sure is that you're having unprotected intercourse in the days leading up to ovulation or the day after to make sure you catch the egg when it's released. In your menstrual diary, record your discharge throughout the cycle. You start with your period for the first 5 days or so of your cycle. This is followed by the follicular phase, when your discharge becomes creamy or lotion-like until ovulation. Around the time of ovulation, you'll notice your discharge becomes stretchy. It's got a consistency like egg whites from days 10 to 15. Around cycle day 15 to 28, you enter the luteal phase, which makes the discharge thick and sticky and dry until your period starts again. Also, if you're having any kind of pain, so you could try to work out in your own body, when am I ovulating? If you have a 28-day cycle, then you'll be ovulating at day 14. Pretty simple. But if your cycle varies from that, what you need to do is work out your cycle length and subtract 14. So for example, if you have a 26-day cycle, minus 14, that means you ovulate on day 12. With that information, you can prioritize when you're having sex. For most people, I recommend having sex every 2 to 3 days when you're trying to get pregnant should be sufficient if you carry that on through the whole month. But if you want to really focus your opportunities, or if your partner doesn't live in the same place as you, you might want to be focusing those times when you're together around your ovulation dates. So you want to be thinking about when is the ovulation, and maybe twice in the 5 days before and once after ovulation is likely. So basically every 2 days in the run up to ovulation and the day after. Number 2, make sure you're taking your supplements. Now, I am not a fertility expert per se, but I know the NHS guidelines only recommend 2 things that you must be taking if you're trying to conceive, and those are folic acid and vitamin D. The idea of that is so that if you do fall pregnant, you're reducing the chances of having any neural tube defects in the babies, conditions like spina bifida, by taking folic acid. Personally, I am not affiliated or advocate any other special pregnancy supplements, but if you want to choose one that's marketed at somebody who's trying to conceive, then go for it. But the only things that you definitely do need is folic acid and vitamin D. Tip 3, sex. Now, of course, if you're trying to fall pregnant naturally, and if you've got a male and a female partner, then you need to have unprotected sex every 2 to 3 days throughout the cycle. You'll hear loads of myths and misconceptions about what type of sex might help you to get pregnant quicker. There is no evidence that you need to have sex every day. There is no evidence that you need to keep your legs up after sex, or any particular positions are going to increase your chances. Do whatever you enjoy, what feels comfortable for you. Number 4, make sure you're taking regular exercise. Now, there are certain things that we don't understand why, but we know do impact on our fertility. And we know that people who do regular exercise are more likely to fall pregnant than those who do not have any exercise in their life. So find something that you enjoy and try to keep that up regularly. So don't worry that because you're trying to fall pregnant, this is a bad time to get started with exercise. It's actually a fantastic time. The way we should actually be thinking about it is when we are pregnant, it's like our body goes through a marathon for 9 months. And so if you were going to do a marathon, wouldn't you train for it? So you should get your body ready. Try to make sure that your BMI is in a healthy range, ideally. And even if you manage to reduce it by 5% in the run up to falling pregnant, you're going to improve your chances of ovulating, especially if you have conditions like polycystic ovarian syndrome. We know losing 5% of your body weight increases your chance of falling pregnant spontaneously. But even for anybody else, regular exercise for both partners improves your chances. So yeah, get your partner involved as well and make sure they're doing regular exercise. It improves sperm count and quality, as well as the chance of ovulation for the female. Tip 5. If you take any regular medications or you have known pre-existing medical conditions, ideally before you fall pregnant, you should be having a chat with your doctor and check, are those medications safe in pregnancy? Are they also safe for somebody planning to fall pregnant? And some of the medications have a bit of a washout time where we recommend you don't fall pregnant for at least 3 months after stopping those medications. So if that is the case, then you should be speaking to your doctor in advance, let them know of your plan so they can make adjustments to your medications if required. If you have any other tips that I didn't cover that helped you improve your fertility, let me know below and I can make another